Valentine's Day is celebrated every 14th February as couples across the globe with their spouses, partners, and sweethearts. On February 14th, when we share chocolates, special dinners, or cards with our loved ones, we do it in the name of Saint Valentine. Officially recognized by the Roman Catholic Church, Saint Valentine is known to be a real person who died around 270 AD. One legend contends that Valentine was a priest who served during the 3rd century in Rome. Valentine was supposedly a Roman priest who performed secret weddings against the wishes of the authorities in the 3rd century. When Emperor Claudius II decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families, he outlawed marriage for young men. Valentine, realizing the injustice of the decree, defied Emperor Claudius and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. When Valentine's actions were discovered, Emperor Claudius ordered that Valentine be put to death. Still others insist that it was Saint Valentine of Terni, a bishop who was the true namesake of the holiday. He too was beheaded by Emperor Claudius II outside Rome. Other stories suggest that Valentine may have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape harsh Roman prisons where they were often beaten and tortured. According to one legend, an imprisoned Valentine actually sent the first Valentine greeting himself after he fell in love with a young girl, possibly his jailer's daughter, who visited him during his confinement. Before his death, it is alleged that he wrote a letter signed "From Your Valentine," an expression that is still in use today. Although the truth behind the Valentine legend is murky, the stories all emphasize his appeal as a sympathetic, heroic, and most importantly, romantic figure. By the Middle Ages, perhaps thanks to this reputation, Valentine would become one of the most popular saints in England and France. While some believe that Valentine's Day is celebrated in the middle of February to commemorate the anniversary of Valentine's death or burial, which probably occurred around 270 AD, others claim that the Christian Church may have decided to place Saint Valentine's feast day in the middle of February in an effort to Christianize the pagan celebration of Lupercalia. Some trace Valentine's Day origin to Christian effort to replace the pagan fertility festival that has been dated as far as the 6th century BC. During the festival of Lupercalia, Roman priests would sacrifice goats and dogs and use their blood-soaked hides to slap women on the streets as a fertility blessing. According to legend, women would later put their names in an urn and be selected to be paired with a man for a year. In 496 AD, Pope Gelasius I made the feast of Saint Valentine an official holiday, apparently hoping to expel the pagan rituals of Lupercalia by combining it with Saint Valentine's Day. During the Middle Ages, it was commonly believed in France and England that February 14th was the beginning of birds' mating season, which added to the idea that Valentine's Day should be a day of romance. February 14th wasn't associated with romantic love until the late 14th century, which is when Geoffrey Chaucer published his poem The Parliament of Fowls. In the poem, he calls St. Valentine's Day the day when birds choose their mates, and from then on, people started considering the holiday a romantic one. Valentine greetings were popular as far back as the Middle Ages, though written Valentines did not begin to appear until after 1400 AD. The oldest known Valentine still in existence today was a poem written in 1415 by Charles, Duke of Orleans, to his wife while he was imprisoned in the Tower of London following his capture at the Battle of Agincourt. The tradition of sending flowers was brought by King Charles II of Sweden after a trip to Persia in the early 1700s with the idea of sending flowers as a non-verbal message. By the middle of 18th century, it was common for friends and lovers of all social classes to exchange small tokens of affection or handwritten notes, and by 1900, printed cards began to replace written letters due to improvement in printing technology. Ready-made cards were an easy way for people to express their emotion in a time when direct expression of one's feeling was discouraged. The Valentine's Day tradition of giving a box of candy was started in the 19th century by Richard Cadbury, a scion of British chocolate manufacturing family. With a new technique recently established at the company to create more varieties of chocolates, Cadbury pounced on the opportunity to sell the chocolates as a part of the beloved holiday. The chubby baby with wings and a bow and arrow that we call Cupid has been associated with Valentine's Day for centuries. However, before he was renamed Cupid, he was known to the ancient Greek as Eros, the god of love. Eros, the son of Greek goddesses Aphrodite, would use two sets of arrows, one for love and another for hate, to play with the emotions of his targets. In Roman mythology, Cupid is the son of Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, and he is often depicted with a bow and arrows to pierce hearts and cast a spell of love. Thank you.